What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got to be talking about AS Monaco and Barcelona as Barcelona lose to Monaco 3-0. And man, there's a bunch to talk about. In my opinion, it wasn't a good game, but there's still plenty to say. And like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't. Road to 200 subs continue. So let's talk about the game now. And this was the lineup put out by HANSI Flick. And we've noticed that in training, basically the winning team in training usually starts this preseason games, and that's why we're always seeing Bernal and Casado because they always win in training. And then not only that, Ter Stegen, man, he was the only player that replaced Pena, who was winning in the training session. But it's nice to see that Hansi Flick is rewarding training session. It's definitely a competitive environment if that is the incentive to play games. And also, if you look at the squad, guys, if you look closely enough, there's no Vitor Roque and there's no Langley. And guys, this is huge because I think Langley, he's probably going to go to Atleti in a couple of days. And then as for Vitor Roque, there's a bunch of offers. It's definitely what we want and what he wants. And I feel like we'll reach an agreement with one team because there's Everton, there's Lazio, and then there's more teams also that want him on loan. I've heard Real Betis. Like, there's a bunch of teams. So these two players probably in the next 3 days, I feel like probably a day before our season kicks off against Valencia, we'll have it sorted. And I just feel like the team in general doesn't have, I don't know, it doesn't have that physicality, that physical presence in the midfield, especially, and also in defense. And I feel like that's very important. So I feel like we should look into some loan signing. Hansi Flick, he's still implementing his ideas. We can see that it's not all smooth. And if we want to talk about the attack first and Rafinha, he looked threatening in this preseason. He always does. Let's be honest. He causes chaos. This is what he does. But he is an erratic player, and today we saw the best of that. And I feel like Rafinha, he did put in a good ball for Pau Victor early on, but then after that, it wasn't too effective. And also, Rafinha, in my opinion, I don't think it's just him, but I feel like we're not using the best out of him when he's playing with Lewandowski. And I'm not trying to hate on Lewandowski, but I don't know. That's just my opinion, honestly. And then if we're talking about the midfield, I don't know. It feels kind of lightweight. Monaco kind of bullied us with their physicality. Not only that, I feel like these two players, they're good players, but they're just not ready yet, especially Marc Bernal. Marc Bernal, he checked the shoulder, but just on the opposite side. And Marc Bernal, he is a good player, but football is not just about being good. It's physicality, it's the mentality, it's the consistency. It's that spark that you can make. He's got the spark, but he needs a bit more, in my opinion. And then Marc Casado, I feel like he can be like a Gavi replacement until Gavi gets back. And Marc Casado is definitely, this is a season for him to prove. And I just feel like the midfield could have shown more. And Hansi Flick, this is the tough decision that he's got to make when players are not playing good. I feel like he's still finding his best 11. And Hansi Flick, you gotta get it down quickly because the season starts in a week, and probably by mid-September, you gotta find your best lineup quickly if we want to be competitive this season early on. And I want to talk about the attack again. So basically, Robert Lewandowski was non-existent in this game. Matter of fact, he was probably a net negative if we're being honest. Lewandowski, he didn't do too good in building up the play. Not only that, connecting attacks, and even he just wasn't getting the ball. And also, I just feel like Pau Victor, when he was playing striker and when he was playing winger, was more effective. But we saw Pau Victor, he played better as a striker, as the lone striker, when that boy Lamine Yamal came on. And by the way, this guy Lamine Yamal is special because Lamine Yamal, the reception that he got from the crowd when he was warming up, that was like a legend-esque, Messi-esque. And not only that, Lamine Yamal, he dribbles, he caused some chaos, into the game, and we can see he's clearly a good player. And then Pau Victor getting onto the end of these passes from Lamine Yamal, I feel like we could do this more often. And I think that Pau Victor should get the chance to start over Lewandowski if Lewandowski is not playing well. As simple as. And Hansi Flick, you're the manager. You got to make the big decisions. You got to make these tough decisions. The fans ultimately do not pick the starting lineup, and nor do the players, nor does the board. You're going to see what's on the training pitch. You're going to see what's on the games. And Hansi Flick, if Lewandowski is having a bad week or two, in my opinion, you got to drop him because we cannot have Lewandowski stinking it up in big games yet again, in my opinion. And also, I want to talk about these three players, especially Pablo Torre, because I'm super high on him. But Pablo Torre, even though I like the player, he didn't play that good. He wasn't effective. He didn't get on the ball. He didn't do his magic. He didn't do his nice turns. And Pablo Torre, man, that wasn't that good of a performance, if I'm being real. And I don't know if he's going to stay now, to be honest, because the club's probably really analyzing these preseason performances from him. And then Alejandro Balde, I feel like he's still not up to speed yet. We saw maybe his speed and defensively cool, but I feel like offensively he still needs to get his crosses better. His dribbles aren't as good as the first season that we saw from him. And then Inigo Martinez, man, I feel like this guy has to be on the bench in my opinion. Some reports are saying that he's playing well, but let's be honest, man, our whole defense as a collective didn't play well. And I feel like Inigo, he's a good individual defender, but in this high line, I just don't think it suits him. So he should be on the bench. And it's going to be a tough loss without Ronald Araujo, until I think December. And that's huge, man. I'm not going to lie. Ronald Araujo, forget about the stats. Forget about that mistake against PSG. Let's just be honest, guys. Ronald Araujo is our best center back. Just keep it real, man. It's going to be tough to replace him. And I feel like we should get a loan maybe for like Chalaba or anybody, man. Anybody that can bolster our defense, add some physicality. And Ronald Araujo, we need this dude to re-sign his contract and stay here, man, because he's a stud, let's be honest. And then Donny Olmo was, in my opinion, it's a good signing, and we saw it today because, not only did the fans, the presentation, everything, Donny Olmo said he's happy to be back at Barcelona, his home. And then, in my opinion, the game reflected it. Pablo Torre, he's still unproven. Fermin Lopez, yes, he can score goals, but sometimes when we play a low block, he's inefficient because his creativity isn't good enough yet. Let's be honest with Fermin. He is a great goal scorer, but not yet an elite one, and his passing just ain't there yet. Let's be honest. And then we could talk about Pedri and Gundogan. Gundogan, I don't think he has the legs to press, and that's why the club's kind of looking to sell. And then Pedri, the number 8 is his position. He just can play 10 for a game or 2 or 3, but Pedri's best in the 8, not the 10. He can play 10 if we're playing against a low block. We're really high up. Cool, play to Pedri in the 10. That's cool. But Danny Olmo is the ultimate 10. He's ready. He's like a veteran also in a way, 26. He's going to be one of the team leaders, and it makes sense for the signing. And I feel like Hansi Flick, it's unfair if we don't give him at least 1 or 2 signings, even on loan. This guy, Laporta, Hansi Flick will accept loans. Look at Bayern. When he won the Champions League, I'm pretty sure Perisic was there and also Philip Coutinho, man. And that just proves that he won't say no to loans, and I feel like that's okay because his contract is short as well. I think it's a 1+1, so Hansi Flick will not mind a loan because his contract is short too. It's basically a 1-year contract. Prove it, and we're gonna re-sign it. And I think Laporta's got to bolster the squad because guys, we play on Saturday against Valencia. I don't know why it says at home, but it's in Mestalla, so it's gonna be a away game against Valencia on Saturday. And Valencia will probably be ready. We got to be ready. We got to win because we don't always start off well in La Liga. I know I don't want to panic after if we lose or tie, but guys, we cannot lose and tie. Come on, let's start off the season well. Hansi Flick's got to get all these things sorted, all his tactics that he wants to implement. But hey, that's it for me for today. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Road to 200 subs continue, and see y'all on the next one, guys. Peace.